Whew, how's it going, guys? Welcome back to the Fight Guy YouTube channel. So, this is my third time recording this video. YouTube's having some type of issue. Hopefully, this one they let me upload. So, we're gonna talk about UFC 291, which is a great card. Sorry, I lost my voice. It's 2:26 a.m. where I'm from, and this is my third time recording this. But we're gonna make it a good one. So we had UFC 291, Dustin Poirier taking on Justin Gaethje for the BMF title fight. And let me just say this. Salt Lake is something special about that arena. I think it's the Delta Arena or something. It's something special about that arena. Every time the UFC goes there, we get an amazing card. I'm talking about from the prelims to the early prelims to the main card. But I'm only gonna talk about the main card on this fight because just time and I've been up too long. So let's start off with the BMF title fight: Dustin Poirier versus Justin Gaethje. I'm a huge fan of both of these fighters, and this is one of them fights that you love and hate at the same time. You love it because you know you're going to get some action. You know it's going to be back and forth, and it's guaranteed to be fireworks and deliver. But you hate it because I'm a fan of, maybe you don't hate it, but I'm a fan of both of these guys. I'm a huge fan of Dustin. I like the way he carries himself inside and outside the octagon. I like how he donates his fight kit to charity. I like how he just doesn't talk a ton of shit. He's just all about the actual fight. He doesn't care about the he say, she say. He just wants to fight. And then Justin Gaethje, the human highlight reel, he's the same way. All action, all no talk, all action, straight to business. Let's break this fight down some. So we had Dustin Poirier, who clearly won the first round using his boxing, his footwork. His boxing defense was on point. He was moving in and out. He did a great job. Justin was, you can tell he was being patient. He was listening to his coaches. He was, at some points it seemed like he was getting a little overwhelmed, but it was never drastic. I'm not gonna say he was getting overwhelmed. He was losing, but he was never out of the fight. He could see, it's like he's seen it. He was just, as we say with Piotr Jan, he was downloading the data. And it took him a couple strikes and losing the first round to get all the data he needed. But eventually he got the data. During the first round, it looks like Dustin that rocked Justin pretty hard. Probably could have got him out of there, but he didn't want to rush it because Justin Gaethje is a dangerous fighter. And you can tell when Justin was hurt, he didn't just go into fight or flight mode. He still was thinking, still picking his shot, still trying to protect himself. So that's the evolution of Justin Gaethje. Because last time Dustin rocked him, he started just throwing haymakers, putting his head down. That's what got him eventually finished. But Justin, I told my friends I was watching the fight with, he threw I think he threw 3 head kicks in the first round. And the first one I was like, oh, Dustin blocked it. But I was like, Justin Gaethje doesn't throw head kicks. He throws the shit out of some leg kicks. Might have the best leg kicks in the business. That can be argued between him and Alex Pereira, but he doesn't throw head kicks. So that was something to make note of. But I didn't think he was gonna finish him with a head kick. Especially, it was just kind of scary or spooky the same way that he finished Dustin, and then a year ago in the same building, Leon finished his partner Usman with that same head kick. Maybe Usman told him something in the back like, man, hey, it's magic in the air. Just throw it. It'll land. I don't know what, but, and he said he didn't practice it because I'm like, maybe he's seen it or something, but he landed. It wasn't even a clean. Dustin blocked some. It was clean, but it wasn't like as good as Leon's. Dustin blocked some of it. It was just, all it takes is a little bit of that shin to hit that head bone. But let's talk about what's next for these fighters. Also, before we go to that, Herb Dean did an amazing job on baseball sliding to save Dustin from taking any extra damage. He took one extra punch, but Herb, congratulations. We always criticize Herb on when he's too late or too early, but he did a good job. For Dustin, maybe I'm overreacting, but I wouldn't be mad if he hung up the gloves because, first of all, finishes like that take something off your life and your career. He's been in a lot of wars. He already had a Hall of Fame career. He's fought the who's who of lightweight division: Habib, Conor, Max. I know Max not lightweight, but Max, Conor again, Michael Chandler, Justin Gaethje twice, Charles Oliveira, and the list just keeps going on. He has had a Hall of Fame career easily. And there's not a lot of fights that just make sense for him. Like Islam's a champ, so he probably won't get him. He's already fought Charles, who's about to fight Islam, so he won't get him. Just lost to Justin. He said Dustin. He said Benil Dariush doesn't interest him. Doesn't really interest me either. I'll watch it, but not excited. Michael Chandler, he's beat him. Rafael Fiziev just lost to Justin Gaethje. Doesn't make sense. Gamrot is number 7. Like, you can't go from fighting Connor, Justin Gaethje, and Oliveira to fighting Gamrot. Like, don't get me wrong, I think Gamrot's a good fighter, but it's just not exciting. He said he has the money. His hot sauce business is booming. Just gonna spend time with his family. Like, I don't want to see Dustin, be one of those guys that hangs around too long. Especially, it seemed like the love of the entire game is not in him anymore. I think he loves the sport still, the actual combat, but I don't think he loves the media, the weight cut, the fans. Like, I don't think he enjoys all that, and that all goes with it. So, just being away from his family, I could see him hanging it up. He might do one more because he don't want to go out with a loss like that, but I think we are beginning to see the beginning of the end of Dustin Poirier. And for Gaethje, he said he's gonna wait for the winner of Oliveira Islam. Dana doesn't always like when fighters decide to wait, but it makes sense in this circumstance or this situation. But hear me out. And maybe I'm crazy. Maybe I'm crazy. Leave a comment if I am. But Volk versus Gaethje. Anybody? Anybody? They both have amazing footwork. Both great coaches. Both amazing leg kicks. Both have amazing boxing combos. I think Volk's fight IQ is a lot higher. I think Justin hits a lot harder. I think Volk's a gamer. I think Justin's crazy. So Volk just fought for the lightweight title. Dana said he can do whatever he wants after his shoulder heals up or his elbow, whatever it was. But we just seen you fight Islam. Like, you need to go back in line. You need to prove yourself at the lightweight division. And what better way than beating you beating Justin. Justin Gaethje versus Volk for the number 1 contendership for the lightweight strap. Because if Islam wins, he probably doesn't want to, I don't know. We don't know what he'll do if he wins. There's a lot of options. But if Oliveira wins, they have to do the trilogy. And then Oliveira's already beat Gaethje with submission. Probably doesn't want to do that again. But lightweight's getting interesting. And then let's go to the co-main event, light heavyweight. We had Jan Blachowicz taking on Alex Pereira. This was an extremely technical fight, and it reminded me a lot of the Jan versus Adesanya fight that we seen a couple years ago. Major differences: Alex was a lot bigger than Izzy was when he fought Jan, and he seemed like he was bigger than Jan, even though he was going up a division. And then I had to make sure his mic was on. And then Izzy's leg kicks were getting blocked by Jan. Pereira leg kicks had a tremendous impact on the fight. And Alex being bigger made it hard for Jan to be able to hold him down. And I feel like the more we see Alex fight, the more we learn about him. Because he got skyrocketed to a title fight so soon because of his history with Adesanya. We didn't know much about him. Like, we didn't know if he had 5-round cardio until he got to the title fight and finished Izzy in the 5th round. We didn't know what his takedown was like. And then we seen Izzy take him down a few times. His takedown defense is getting better. We can tell that. His submission defense is pretty solid. And his fight IQ, you can tell, not even his fight IQ, but he's making adjustments from fight to fight. He's learning. He's becoming a more well-rounded mixed martial artist. And he's starting to see the fight clearer. Because you can see those instances where he had Jan hurt on the cage. And instead of going berserker like he normally does, or like how he did on Izzy, you can see he was picking and plotting his shots and playing instead of just going crazy, because that's what got him viciously KO'd against Adesanya in the last fight. What's next for these guys? To be honest, Jan's 40, probably not be getting back to a title fight. He can fight Ankalaev again. Maybe he can fight Hill when he comes back. Maybe Rakic, but I don't know. Jan's 40. Looks like he's slowing down a little bit. we'll see what he does. I guess there's a few options, but he didn't look himself tonight. But you might be able to blame that on the altitude. They were in Salt Lake City. And then we have Alex Pereira, who looks like he's the number one contender for a title shot against Yuri Prochazka. And I think Alex is about to become a 2-division glory champion and a 2-division UFC champion, which I think is unheard of. And now this is a crazy take, and I don't think it's true, but it's late, so I'm gonna say crazy things. We might have to start looking at him on like, is he a Mount Rushmore fighter in combat sports? Like we got Henry Cejudo with the gold medal and the 2 UFC titles, but he has 2 glory titles and 2 UFC titles, and one of them he beat one of the greatest middleweights of all time 3 times. Just putting that out there. I don't think it's true, but you keep winning and keep doing stuff like this, we might have to consider it. Just wanted to be the first to call it. But I like his odds against Yuri. Because Yuri's not gonna take him down unless he's been working on his takedown defense since he's been gone, which I don't know. And we don't know what kind of Yuri we're gonna see because the doctors at the UFC said it was the worst shoulder injury they ever seen. Alex has better stand up. He has more stand up experience. He's gonna be bigger. He has more power. But one thing about Alex, and he's gonna have momentum. Yuri's hurt, coming off an injury. But one thing about Alex is he looked slow tonight. Maybe that's the altitude, but him coming up a division, Yuri looked a lot faster than him. Like Yuri was hitting him with 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 punch combos. Like I was shocked how when Alex was landing, it was one jab, one right hook, maybe a 1-2, but Yuri's hands looked, Jan's hands looked a lot faster than Yuri's. A lot faster than Alex. And I think Yuri's going to have a speed advantage. And we know Yuri has 1-punch knockout power. So we'll see. It's not going to be an easy fight for Alex, but definitely going to be an interesting banger. And somebody's getting finished. I can guarantee that. Next, we have Derek Lewis, the Black Beast, getting his first win in a couple years. He comes out, first of all, we got Skinny Gucci, and then we got Skinny Derek Lewis. He got abs now. Shit's a little crazy. But he comes out with a flying knee that lands and drops bro instantly. Then he gets on top and pounds him out with some ground and pound, finishing the fight in the first round with 33 seconds into the very first round. Then his celebration was hilarious. He took his shorts off, did his little dance, copped the cage. I'm happy for him, man. Derek Lewis is a character. I think the UFC is better when Derek Lewis is winning fights. He's like him, Connor. It's just certain guys that they just seem like they're fighters, and you can't help but cheer for them. And I'm happy Derek Lewis got a win. It was hard seeing him take all those losses. I think he was on like a 4 or 5 fight losing streak, and it was like finishes, and they were getting sooner and sooner. And it's happy to see the Black Beast, and he's in contract negotiations. So hopefully he gets a new contract. UFC gives him some money. I know Dana's a huge Black Beast fan, so I'm happy for Derek Lewis. Good night for him. But speaking of losing streaks, this one kind of hurts. El Kakui, Tony Ferguson, man, I think he's on a 6-fight losing streak. He gets subbed by Bobby Green in the third round, 4 minutes and 54 seconds. And Tony hasn't been the same since the Justin Gaethje fight during the pandemic, and that's kind of why I want Dustin Poirier to retire. It's hard seeing your favorite fighters, take this kind of damage, and they're just never the same. Even though Dustin didn't take the same kind of damage Tony took in that fight against Justin, it's just knockouts like that change your life, change your career, shorten it. Like, you want these people to be able to go spend time with their families at the end of the day when it's all done. Fighting is temporary, but Tony hasn't been the same since that loss, and he hasn't won a fight since that loss, and he's just been getting finished left and right. I think the only person that didn't finish him was Charles. Bobby's hands were faster. He was tagging him, and it's sad because Tony's face looked like the people face he used to beat up, um, like Cowboy Cerrone, Edson Barbosa. Um, who else did he beat up? Kevin Lee. Well, he subbed Kevin Lee, but His face these dudes' faces used to look terrible, and now this is what Tony's face looked like, and it was just crazy seeing Tony go from this 12 fight winning streak to now he's on a 6 fight losing streak. And Bobby Green, who's not not as known as a submission threat, I think he has 6 subs. Put him in a triangle, and Tony legs just dangling on the ground, swinging, trying to escape, and then Bobby squeezes the air out of him and leaves him there covered in blood in the middle of the octagon. It's just like it's a scary sight to see, and I hope Tony hangs up the glove. He said he has other businesses outside of the UFC, so he doesn't have to keep fighting. And it's tough to see people keep getting abused when they don't have to anymore, and like they just don't know when to stop. It's like a drug. It's like they're like addicts who just need help, and hopefully somebody can help Tony, help him put down the gloves. Bobby looked good. Happy he got the win. He did what he's supposed to do. Got a finish. Kind of what we expected. Tony has seen. We've seen the best of Tony, and this was not it. So hopefully Tony lays down the gloves and goes on to coach and have a beautiful life outside of the octagon. And lastly, we have Michael Chiesa taking on Kevin Holland. Have you ever watched WWE when they'd be like Randy Orton would just come out of nowhere, like I don't know where the RKO? Michael Chiesa always finds himself in a fucking Darce. It's like out of nowhere with a Darce. Like it's just anybody can Darce him. Like it's like he's a Darce magnet. Like, and I like Chiesa. He seems like a good dude. He does a good job on the broadcasting booth or whatever, but he just keep walking into Darce's. His stand-up's horrendous. His he said he doesn't believe in ring rust, but he definitely looked rusty. He looked terrible on the feet. Even though his stand-up's terrible, it looked even worse, and he looked like he wasn't confident in it at all. Kevin Holland's, you could see Hollins knew he was gonna have an easy night. You could see he was smiling. He wasn't worried about the takedowns at all. You can tell he's been working on his ground game. He was confident he was gonna be able to get back up. And Chiesa was running away from punches, ducking when he wasn't. Like he looked sloppy on the feet. And I think his nervousness on the feet is what led him into the Darce. Like it led him to get subbed easily. Like he just threw himself into the Darce. Kevin Holland did his thing. Happy for him. Trailblazer, like Big Mouth. Chiesa, he needs to work on his stand up, bro. He needs to work on his stand up. He just took a year off. He needs to take another year off. Boxing, kickboxing, Muay Thai only. You know how to wrestle. We know you know how to wrestle. But you need to learn how to throw a 1-2 duck head movement. Like your stand up is horrendous, and it's hard for you to be ranked in the top 15, and you can't survive on your feet for more than a minute. Like it just doesn't make sense. Kevin Holland talked about going back up to 185. Don't know about that, but overall, man, this was a great card. The Salt City, the Salt Lake City head kick strikes again. I think Dana needs to start giving out like 70K bonuses if you can land a head kick in Salt Lake City and finish your opponent. Because I don't know, it's something in the air, but if you throw it at the right time, it's over with, especially in that arena. Two of the craziest head kicks we've seen. And there was another one in the prelims. It was even crazier than the Justin Gaethje one, but not as much significance on it. Great card. If you guys enjoyed any of this, please leave a comment, like, subscribe. Man, we love this sports while we talk about it. It's almost 3 o'clock and I'm still up talking about UFC. Truly love it. Hopefully we can grow this channel. Comment back and forth. We'll get back to you. And tell a friend to tell a friend. Thanks. We're out.